Welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jody, and each week we're going to be diving in deep, covering all things that help you step up your game, master your mindset, and help you commit to creating the life you deserve. So if you're ready for that, let's get started. All right. Hello, my favorite people. You're my favorite because you like to listen to me. Okay, I hope everyone is doing great. And as always, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. It just really means more to me than you know. And I really hope you guys are getting some good value out of this, as well as a couple giggles here or there. So today, I actually want to talk about old beliefs and how important it is to just be very cautious of what our beliefs are and feeling like we're stuck to them, because everything's changeable, everything is fixable when it comes to our mindset and the way that our life is going, as well as our businesses, our finances, our relationships, all that. So that really has a lot to do with what our beliefs are, which stems back to things from our past and our childhood, which help shape us into the way that we are today. And, you know, there are plenty of beliefs that we all hold on to, and they have so much influence over you. They are why you do what you do for the most part. And some of them are positive. And for some people, a lot of them are negative. And, those negative ones, they've got some pretty, in whatever they're successful in, have these positive beliefs. They might be believing, I am successful. I am a millionaire. I can get Eskimos to buy ice from me. And some beliefs for people, they're just plain dumb. Like, I've had some really random beliefs, like thinking at one point in time there's only one right way to fold laundry, or this is how a refrigerator should be organized. Silly little things like that. Those are still beliefs that are just dumb, and that there's only one right way to do something, and or believing your way is the only way. And so I really want to help us dissect this so that we can work through it and see that there are other beliefs out there that might serve a greater purpose for us and help us get to where we want to get to, and also help us just be more open to flexibility and not always thinking that your one way is the only way, but seeing other ways as well. And so something that actually a lot of people do to themselves that holds them back from improving, progressing, and succeeding in life is believing these old stories about themselves. Things that they've been saying to themselves for years. And guys, everything we think, it either builds us up or it holds us back. And so just being open to thinking a different way, you can change your thoughts, your theories, and your stories around basically just about anything in your life. And it's so amazing when you can actually really hammer down on this, catch yourself from an outsider's perspective, seeing these thoughts and these beliefs. And when you can just critique them and say, okay, is that helping me or is that holding me back? And then you can decide, okay, this needs a new belief. That can be different. If someone else can be like that, why can't I? Or is it, you know what? This is an empowering belief. I'm going to keep lifting this one up. I'm going to keep using it. I'm going to use it in other areas of my life, because if it works in this area, it'll work in other areas. And so there's actually some techniques that you could use to really create and maintain beliefs that support you. And one of those things I kind of touched on it is being open-minded. So your previous beliefs and the knowledge that you think is is right or what you heard, it can really prevent you from gaining new knowledge. And so something to really use as example of this is that there's only one right way to lose weight. And the only right way to lose weight is by following XYZ diet and doing XYZ for a workout. And a lot of people believed, okay, well, you need to eat 5 small meals throughout the day. Well, I used to think like that, and that was the only way to do it. And that my workouts had to look a specific way for my clients that I was training in the past for them to lose weight. But you know what? There is a lot of new science out there that shows other ways to do it. How people can eat differently that's more catered to their life, that might trigger different things for them in, fat loss components, muscle gaining components. And I had to become open-minded to that because it was this new knowledge that was proving itself to be true. So if you think you already know something, then you won't be open to new views. Like, knowledge is awesome. And I just think we all need to have knowledge in all kinds of things. But when it gets in the way of learning something new, it's like poison. So whatever it is that you feel like you're an expert at and you have all this knowledge in and you don't need any more in, I challenge you to really step into your life or this area with an open mind, saying, you know what, I know that this way works, but there could be other ways out there that if I hear about it, instead of being completely closed off to it, maybe I'll just hear about it and I'll go do my own research on it and get some knowledge and see if it's something that I want to accept as a belief to adopt into my life, my practice, my whatever it may be. All right, the next thing is to ask more questions. To really change our beliefs, we need to be curious. And we definitely need to avoid believing that we already know the answer because of, a past experience of ours. And, a lot of people do this and they don't realize they do it, is they aren't willing to listen. And here's the thing, is you learn while you're listening and you can't learn while you're speaking. So if you really want to change some beliefs in your life, some ways that might not be serving you, then you definitely want to be an open, curious human being who will ask questions and then be quiet and listen to the answer. And actually listen is the key word, because a lot of times we might ask a question and we might be quiet, but there's so much chatter going on in our head that we're not listening to what someone is saying because we might be so focused on what we want to say next. And this happens a lot in anyone who's pitching someone, that they might ask a question to their prospect and all they're thinking about is, okay, I'm going to tell them this, and that. And I'm going to tell them these facts and I'm going to tell them this story and I'm going to tell them all these things and here's what I'm going to say next. But they're not actually listening. And we get so many cues from people when we listen to them that it will guide us into the next question. And it'll really help shape the way that you talk to people so that the way that you thought you should talk to people actually get shaped into a new way that you can talk to people that's going to open them up more. And then let's say you are, talking to someone, asking someone who has had success in something or is telling you their story or whatever it may be, and you ask questions and then you're quiet and you're listening. Well, when you listen and you hear this other side, you're going to say, oh man, I wonder if that would work for me. And it'll help dissolve some of these old beliefs that may or may not be working for you. You might find out you have the same beliefs as someone else. You might have the same habits, routines, rituals, things like that. And that just might solidify that you're doing the right thing. So it's really, really, really good to just be curious, be able to ask questions, and to really, really, really listen and be present. It's so important. That's so important in your relationships. If I can give any pointers, and this is every relationship, that is a really good one. Okay, next, you want to determine if your beliefs are truths or if they're just beliefs. So typically, for most people, beliefs are personal. You normally can't prove that what you believe is correct compared to another belief. And yeah, I know that's pretty intense, right? We think we're right. If we believe something, then it is right. But again, it's personal, and sometimes it can be proven. So like with that folding laundry example, who in the heck can prove that my way of folding laundry is the right way? Because they're going to believe their way of folding laundry is the right way. Everyone's right. It's because it's from their own perspective. But when we talk about truths, that doesn't require any validation. A truth is a truth. And so I wrote a newsletter on this last week. So if you read it, I'm going to use this example because when I was writing it, I was actually laughing pretty hard. Okay, first, of course, you can use like the example of gravity is a truth. Like we know gravity is true. Here's another example, which it's true. Poop stinks. Poop stinks. That's the truth. No ways around it. So there's a difference. There's a difference between truths and beliefs. And that really goes back to dissecting your thoughts, stepping outside of your thoughts and being the observer. I know this is like way, not woo-woo, but like way deep stuff. And when you're the observer of your thoughts, that means you get to have the choice of whether you accept them or whether you don't like them and you want to change them. So take a step back and start paying attention to your beliefs and your actions and what you're doing, and if these things are true or if they're just beliefs. All right, next, more dissecting. We got to do a heck of a lot more dissecting. Is where did your beliefs come from? If, for example, you believe that you're not capable of being successful and having a happy, thriving life, you got to ask yourself, where the fuck did that come from? Seriously, like, why is that a truth? It's not a truth. It's just some stupid story you started telling yourself, and it usually happened sometime in your childhood. It usually happens something to do with your parents and maybe the way that, for example, money worked in your family. And there's a lot of digging that has to be done to find all this garbage that's going on in our minds. And what you want to do is you just want to take that garbage and throw that shit right out in the trash and get rid of it. And it's so cool when you realize you can get rid of it. And it takes time, you guys. This is not something you can do overnight. This is like dissecting work, rewiring your brain, rewiring your thoughts, healing trauma, working on these core wounds. There's a lot to be done when it comes to beliefs. And a lot of it has to do with neutralizing traumas and finding out these core wounds and healing them. And that's really where a lot of our beliefs come from. So again, like, you can get help with a coach with this. Therapy helps, or you can just do a lot of research and podcasting. I know that there's a lot of stuff out there. There's books, there's all kinds of stuff where you can really kind of coach yourself and do some self-therapy. But, really when you talk it out with someone else, I think really is what helps a lot, because it's really easier to uncover those things when someone else is asking you questions and making you get uncomfortable in that diving deep. So that's a deep one, but it's way worth it. I have done actually a lot of working with coaches, therapists, things like that. And I'm such a believer in it, which is probably why I'm a coach, because I'm such a believer in it. And that when we have someone else helping us and seeing these things that we can't see, we get to change. And we just can't do it all on our own. And so some people might be like, oh my God, therapist, that means I'm crazy. No, it doesn't. That means you actually care about yourself enough to go and get work so that you can rewire your brain to a way that's actually more self-loving and prosperous and abundant. So it's really cool thing to do. And I'm giving a plug to coaches and therapists. All right. Next is you got to be willing to let go of your identity. And, we all have specific identities, and a lot of our beliefs are built around these identities. And, here's some ones that a lot of people can relate to is they might have this identity of I fail at everything that I try. And that is so specific for New Year's resolutions and why, people don't lose weight and why they don't stick to things is because they've created an identity that they fail at everything that they try. Another one is I never finished what I started. And I got my hand raised because I've told myself this so many times because I have started a shit ton of things and I'm gung-ho and I'm, oh yeah, this is going to be different and I'm going to finish this and this is what the outcome is going to be. And then a couple weeks later, I've lost interest or some distraction has showed up that's caught my interest and that becomes my new thing. And then I'm like, realize, oh shit, well, there's another thing I didn't finish. And I get upset with myself. What I fail to do in this is take note of all the things that I have finished. And so that's something that I personally am always working through is letting go that identity of I never finished what I started. And, if you are out there and you can relate with me on that one, I'm sending you some love because you know what? I guarantee there's things that you have finished. So you're way better than you're giving yourself credit for. And just remember that because each and every one of you are amazing and you have gifts and you have talents. And I know that you are way more capable of what you think you are than you know. Okay. Oh, speaking of capable, actually, the next one is a lot of people can have the identity that I'm not capable of making great money. Fuck yeah, you are. But there's some dumb story that you're telling yourself that you can't, that you're not capable of it because maybe you've chosen to put your energy into a job that pays you money that's not great money. You know what? A lot of times a job isn't going to be your way to financial freedom. It's going to be a way that helps support you and your needs, but it's not always the way to financial freedom. It's other ways of having a side hustle, having your own business, having residual income, real estate property, stock market, passive income on things that, are end up smart, making smart investments that pay you back in the end. When you realize that there's more to making money than just a job, that's when you get to start realizing you can make great money. And when you can upgrade your mindset on finding a job that's better than what you currently have and sharpening your skills, that's when you can start to make better money and get to that greater point that gives you more freedom and financial stability. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about of an identity, I'm lazy. A lot of people say this is I'm lazy. Well, no, you're not. You just tell yourself that. And you've gotten so conditioned to being unmotivated that, yeah, you have become lazy. But you know what changes that? Is having a goal, having something that you're working towards. That's what changes people's beliefs and they don't even realize it. They go from being a couch potato to, in the gym, making different food habits, working on a business, having a side hustle, out there doing the work. You're not lazy. No one's lazy. We have lazy moments, but it's if we are unmotivated and not inspired, and we have something that we're not working for, that's what creates us to tell those beliefs of we're lazy and that we're kind of pathetic. And you know what, you guys, that's sad. There should be nobody in this world that should wake up with no zest for life. That is just a recipe for disaster and a very sad life because we're all given gifts and talents. And if we're able to wake up each day, that right there, my friends, is a absolute 100% fact that we're supposed to be on this earth, that we're supposed to do great things with what we were given, that we are supposed to make a difference in our lives and people's lives around us. And we're supposed to enjoy this beautiful thing called life. We shouldn't wake up to be lazy and be bored and wonder why we're even here just to go to bed. That's a very upsetting way to live. And I don't ever want anyone to be in that place. And yes, we all go through those seasons of where we're unmotivated and whatnot. But it's when we really see the value in knowing that there's a purpose for us waking up every day and finding it as a gift, that we can really get out of that slump and really, really get rid of that identity. So we take our beliefs, good or bad, and we associate with them. So if you believe whatever it is you keep telling yourself, then it's true. And that's exactly what dictates your decisions, your actions, and your outcomes. All right, so next, what is the cost of your beliefs? Some beliefs come with a heavy price. So we really want to take a look at our beliefs and consider the impact that they're having on us. Beliefs are, again, like we said, they're personable, which means they're alterable. You got to think about which of your beliefs are making your life more challenging and which of your beliefs are making your life better. When you realize a certain belief doesn't serve you, you'll actually be more interested in letting go of it. And it's going to be uncomfortable to let go of it. I'm going to tell you that right now. But it will get easier. It's like the gym. The first day at the gym is hard. But the next day it gets just a little easier. And the next day it gets just a little easier. And soon, you know, the next thing you know is you got this new belief that the gym is great. I love the gym, instead of thinking it's hard. So when you realize, again, that this certain belief doesn't serve you, you'll be more interested in letting go of it. And I use fitness analogies because I think it's something everyone can relate to. But, you know, I can use business analogies. Sometimes it's kind of harder for people to wrap their head around. So fitness is kind of like a universal thing that at some point in time, everyone's thought about their body and their health. And that is my 6 tips that I have for you. I think that you can make some massive changes. I don't think, actually, I know, I believe, but it's also a truth that you can make massive changes in your life if you choose to change the beliefs that aren't serving you. And really, you guys, I just can't encourage you enough to go, through what I said in this podcast episode and just really dive deep into a lot of this stuff and help yourself get better at life. Really do some self-analyzing. And sometimes it's not going to be pretty. And a lot of times it can be very rewarding and very eye-opening because not only do you benefit, but the people around you and the people that you're helping and the things that you're doing all benefit as a result of you letting go of crappy beliefs that don't serve you and being open-minded, asking more questions, determining if your beliefs are truths or if they're just beliefs, finding out where they came from, letting go of certain identities that don't serve you, and weighing the cost of certain beliefs. I really hope that this episode helps you guys. If it did, please let me know. Drop me a message in my DMs, whether on Instagram or Facebook. I love connecting with you guys, and I love seeing, the people that are giving me feedback that this has been helpful. And if you did enjoy it, I would love if you could share it out there in the social media world. You can take a screenshot of this episode and put it in your stories. Tag me in it. That way I can see you. And rate, review, and subscribe. If you could, that would mean the world to me if you have not done it yet. And I have a freebie for you if you do, which is in the show notes. So take a look. All right. Like I always say, you guys, we only have one life to live. Make it amazing. Until next time, much love to you.